This week I'm going to talk about the Brazilian League, compare it with the Premier League. Still locked down in England, in Liverpool, but people are out and about a little bit more. There's the COVID test centre. See you in the classroom. Okay, so it was an incredible end to the Brasileirao, the Brazilian League. It finished last month and it was a battle between Flamengo or Internacional, who hadn't won the league for over 40 years. Flamengo played Internacional in the penultimate match, so not the final match, the match before, and Flamengo won 2-1 with the help of a controversial red card for a player called Rodinei.
Lucas Ribeiro sai jogando na direita com o Rodinei. Felipe Luiz deu bote, ficou sentindo, hein? Ficou sentindo Felipe Luiz.
Pegou, deu para perceber daqui quando ele bota o pé no chão, acho que é o Rodinei que está na jogada com ele.
Depois de revisar a jogada no vídeo, vou tomar a decisão. E a decisão é cartão vermelho para Rodinei.
And this was incredible because Rodinei, he was on loan from Flamengo. So Flamengo was his parent club. And he could not, in the deal, he could not play against Flamengo unless Internacional paid Flamengo 1 million real, which is about £133,000. So a desperate fan decided to pay the money so Rodinei could play, and just after half time he was given a straight red. I don't know about this decision really. When the match was 1-1 and then Gabigol, if you remember him, he scored and Flamengo won 2-1.
Gabriel tocando para Bruno Henrique. Arrascaeta aberto na esquerda, Pedro infiltrado. Arrascaeta trouxe bem pelo meio. Aí o Arrascaeta, linda bola para Gabriel, bateu! Gol!
So going into the final match of the season, Flamengo were 2 points ahead and they were playing Sao Paulo. Sao Paulo needed to beat Flamengo to qualify for the Copa Libertadores, and they did. And while this match was happening, Internacional, therefore, needed to beat Corinthians, a struggling Corinthians team, and they thought they did. In injury time, they scored a goal. The fans were celebrating. It was over 40 years since Internacional had won the league.
Esquerda, ameaçou, não bateu, vem pra tabela, Peglo pro Cuesta, bateu cruzado, Edenilson! 41 anos! Gol! Subiu a bandeira!
But VAR intervened and the goal was disallowed. They finished the match 0-0.
Parte pelo alto, acredita. Moisés bateu na primeira trave. Afasta a defesa, se sair de novo é escanteio. Cássio tá viva. Galhardo levantou, atenção, Cuesta, Gil tira. A sobra do Peglo. Dominou Lucas pra fora!
And Flamengo won the league. They retained the title.
Se faz uma dinastia! Bicampeão estadual da Supercopa do Brasil, da Recopa Sul-Americana, da Libertadores.
And today I want to talk about 7 points that I noticed in the Brasileirao, maybe comparing with the Premier League. Okay, so number 1 is there are good goalkeepers in the Brasileirao, lots of really good goalkeepers, really big goalkeepers. So maybe they are not so good with their feet. In the Premier League, the goalkeepers need to use their feet more, I think. But goalkeepers like Waverton is really good. The young goalkeeper for Flamengo, Hugo Neneca. Also Cássio, the veteran goalkeeper, a really big goalkeeper, not so good with his feet. But he was incredible in the last match for Corinthians versus Internacional. It was reminiscent of his performance versus Chelsea in the World Club Cup final. That was probably one of the best performances by a goalkeeper I have ever seen. versus Chelsea, and the veteran goalkeeper was also good versus Internacional in the last game of the season.
Bola pra área. Seu nome dele.
Number 2. So in the Brasileirao, I think the defending is less intense. I think in terms of blocking shots or blocking a cross or keeping a good line, pushing up and trying to play offside, I think in the Brasileirao they are a bit more relaxed about this compared to the Premier League. In the Premier League they try to, there is an intensity to the play, but also an intensity to the defending as well. Number 3 is many seasoned professionals. So it surprised me how many experienced seasoned professionals. Another name for this is journeymen, or one person, a journeyman. So this is a player who has played for many different clubs in his career. Players like Marinho, or even players who maybe have returned to Brazil to play for their boyhood clubs, like Felipe Luis possibly, but even in Internacional they had a lot of experienced players, Edenilson for example. Number 4, in the Brazilian league I think there are more number 10s, more small and skillful players like Pepe or Soteldo, and I think this is because of the futsal influence. And in Europe, teams play 4-3-3 a lot. So it's difficult to find a position for a small and skillful player. A player like Coutinho is struggling to find a position in a European team. In a 4-3-3, the wingers are like machines. You need to be really athletic, up and down, really physical. So a small and skillful player who is good on the ball but maybe doesn't have running power, you don't see so much in the Premier League or the top European leagues. But in the Brasileirao, they have many. Even a player like Jean-Pierre, who is a really skillful player, a lot of quality, but he is quite relaxed, maybe like Ganso in the past. And I think in the Premier League, a player like that may find it difficult. And you don't see many players like that, but I enjoy watching players like that. So it's good to see players like Pepe, Soteldo. There are many, Claudinho maybe. Number 5 is in the Brasileirao, there is a lot of injury time, like 8-9 minutes average it seems to be in every match. I don't know why this happens, but there is a lot of VAR calls, people seem to protest, but it's exciting because usually there is always a big chance or something happens in injury time, and there is more of it in the Brazilian league than the Premier League. Number 6, also there are more penalties for handball in the Brazilian league. For me, these are dodgy penalties. I don't like these penalties. If a ball hits somebody's hand by accident in the Brazilian league, it's a penalty. In the Premier League, they changed the rule. After the first 2 or 3 weeks, the referees interpreted the rule differently. So now you don't see so many penalties for handball in the Premier League, but in the Brazilian league last year, there were so many of them. Finally, number 7, in the Brazilian league, you have more time on the ball. I just think the Premier League is more intense. There is more intensity, fast and physical players. It's frantic at times in the Premier League. In the Brazilian league, smaller teams usually park the bus, so they defend very deep. But in the Premier League, even the smaller teams try to attack sometimes, and they try to play a fast physical game. And in the Brazilian league, the managers seem to be more reactive because of this. They react to something in a match. If they go a goal behind, they maybe then try to score. But in the Premier League, teams are more proactive. Okay, thank you for watching. I just wanted to talk about the Brazilian league. Do you agree with me? Maybe you don't. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment underneath. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.